is. Oh, and got the notification. Mercury's cast is live.
Sick. But we're not live yet. But we are recording.
YouTube saying we're live.
Yeah, well, we're recording. I can use some of this stuff for the intro.
And this is Mercury's cast. We welcome your host in the left corner, Travis Montgomery.
I'm in the right corner, goddammit. Hold on, I need to get the audio.
And on the right
first.
corner, we've got... Oh, well,
how do I sound compared to him? I think I need to turn him up a little bit.
Your echo is god-awful, dude.
No,
Your kitchen is an acoustic nightmare.
Your face is an acoustic nightmare.
Is product placement
No,
often?
like, I'm not even fucking with you.
Is product placement not allowed?
Yeah, you can do the monster.
All right.
Do the monster, you fucking 12-year-old on Xbox. I'm sure you've been intimate with my mother, too.
Yeah. I don't play video games.
It's really fun. I've listened to it a couple times now while doing this, and the end result is fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you definitely don't sound nearly as bad as Dog the Bounty Hunter. So,
dude, did you listen to that?
You got that going for you.
Oh
yeah, dude. You'd think that there's. I guarantee my audio quality is a billion times better, and I'm in a fucking makeshift tent room.
I'm on an HP notebook. How's mine coming through?
I was going to be on an HP notebook, but I'm using my phone instead. That's what I use too.
I'm going to turn him up a little bit. I think we'll be good.
Yeah, we definitely aren't the worst out there.
I've been told I'm.
I don't have any beverage. Well, yeah, you are. We definitely don't know how to pick our guests. I'll say that.
What the hell, man?
Wasn't my choice to have you on.
Oh, okay. Last time this guy was like, yo, you want to hop on a podcast? I was like delivering sushi downtown on my bike and shit. Which, by the way, my recent support for the First Amendment has actually forced me to be relieved from my private contracting position, which is kind of bullshit. Somebody reported something. I got zucked on Facebook.
Really?
Yeah.
So how did getting zucked?
Well, I got relief. I got relief from Postmates, and then I got zucked.
Huh.
So you do like to fuck with people. But that's not saying you shouldn't be allowed to fuck with people.
What happened?
Well, it is their as a private business, it is their right to choose to contract with and who not to.
Yeah,
they do have that you have the constitutional First Amendment right, and they have the First Amendment right to use their
association.
I think that's a fucking lowest communist move to go after someone's employer because of political beliefs.
But that's an inconsistency. I feel. That's an inconsistency I feel the right is more apt to deal with. I tend to see less complaining on the traditional right about losing your job for freedom of speech than I do from the left. They're all for it when it's like, oh, fire that guy. He said Jews have money. Fire him.
Right.
But and then cry when it's like, but that chick pepper sprayed a reporter. Yeah, but she was punching Nazis. She should be protected. Yeah, but most companies don't want to associate with people that pepper spray reporters. So, I tend to fall pretty centrist on most of these issues. So,
radical centrist?
I don't really. No, not a radical centrist. That would be Sean Daly. I'm actually very far. I'm far on the free market, but I'm at the bottom. I don't like authority.
Yeah, same. See,
it's where my disconnect with Kekistan is, because too many radical Kekistanis are authoritarian scum.
Well, I gotta say, I don't know how the Kekistan is represented on Facebook, but the Republic of Kyrgyzstan actually has become quite cucked.
It definitely has.
Yeah, on the Facebook. So what happened was is that I initiated this movement. What we did was we established the how you doing? We started the Kyrgyzstani Operational Command, and then we removed as many people as we could into these regional task forces. So what happened was is we started groups based off of location. The first task force is Illinois, then there's Wisconsin, Washington. We have one in Adelaide, and then we switched that just to the Australian one. So we're trying to get them based off of location. We have a better vetting process. I actually super into this, as you could tell, the whole Kyrgyzstan thing. I think it's really.
There was wasn't there some discussion about throwing a radical centrist in charge of one for the Berkeley branch?
Yeah, we tried to get you to recruit you, but you didn't. We tried to recruit you to get one up in California, but you didn't show too much enthusiasm. So we moved on.
It's been a rough couple of weeks. I might actually be a little bit more down for that here soon. Gonna have a little bit more greenery coming my way.
That's awesome, man. And we do have a California one, but California is so big that it needs to be split up.
Well, also, I'm in the part of the state that wants to secede.
Oh, that's yeah.
Well, I mean the northern part that wants to secede and be the state of Jefferson.
Yeah, I don't mind that. That's cool. I say the hell with the commies anyway, so you can take them all.
That way, but they wanna cut just north of San Francisco, so that basically the state will be red.
Hey, do it. Whatever. I say
I'm not super for it because I feel like the red. Yeah, I do too. But Oh yeah. We should probably start the podcast.
All right, let's get it done.
I'm getting the links going.
Just send it to my inbox.
I just posted it. It should go on your page, right?
That's sick.
And I'll do Twitter.
Just got it.
And I got tagged too.
Sick. Thick.
Oh, that face.
Oh yeah, thanks for that thumbnail. That's beautiful. Oh god. That's
all right. Let's start, and then I'll get the other links going up. But you guys got the main ones.
And in 5, 4, 3, 2, 7.
What's happening, everybody? This is Mercury's Cast 69. It'll be a lot of sucking and anyway, it's
for two. It's dinner for two.
I'm your host, Travis Montgomery. I'm just living the solo life here in my house still, and that's all right. Alexander, how are you feeling today?
Oh, I feel like hot shit.
Like you're hot shit, or like a?
I don't think I was. No. Like I feel like a steaming pile of hot shit. I don't know that I'm supposed to sound that enthusiastic about it, but
well, you look
definitely
like you look the part.
Thank you. As you, it's almost like we're twins.
I can tell you somebody who is going to be enthusiastic. And let me try and pronounce your name. I saw one as Isa and Darius. What would you like to be addressed?
This is psoriasis Darius Isis Gibbons.
Is actually my name, my government name is Darian Parlik, but I'm also known in the Islamic community as Isa Ibn Darius, or in Kyrgyzstan as Based Kebab. So anyone, take your pick. Darian, Isa, Kebab.
We're gonna get into all that. Believe you me. Personally, been dealing with a little bit of downness. I was just laying in bed all day. I didn't even go to work. But then I got up and exercised. And
for our segment on entertainment, I gotta say, if you are sitting at home, sitting in bed, depressed or feeling down, Netflix just released the Defenders series. So anyone that watched Daredevil, Iron Fist, any of that, Luke Cage, it's all of them together.
You know what?
It's
I need
fantastic.
to move on the TVs into I don't have a TV in my bedroom, so that's a problem.
You got to.
I'm gonna do that
There's
tonight.
nothing like sitting, eating ice cream in a dark room, watching TV, and that's what you got to do.
Yeah, I put a
You also need wine.
because there's the fucking sun comes up right in that window, and until I was living alone, I was like, fuck this, I'm putting a blanket in the window. And now it's all blacked out in there. I close the door because there's a window in the bathroom and the bright sun comes through there. I close the other door, and I'm just locked in this dark chamber. And it's kind of great, but it's kind of like staring at the ceiling fans doing, like, what the fuck is going on?
Well,
kind of that kind of stuff too. But
That's my
I work
window.
graveyard, so welcome to my life. Welcome to my life. I work graveyard.
Alex,
Blanketed windows are.
so now that I've rolled out of Golden Path of Happiness, how are you doing?
Pretty good. Not bad.
Alexander, I'm sorry.
Oh, me, yeah. Muzzy comes last. I'm.
You are the grand co-host, aren't you?
Yeah. I'm getting by. Definitely had a lot going on lately. Personal stuff, some impersonal stuff. You know, some stuff drags you down, some stuff lifts you up.
I'm here to lift you up, buddy, right?
I'm more intrigued to hear how our based kebab is doing.
So again, what do you want us to be address you as?
Darian or Issa, either one is fine.
Issa or Darren? Okay, Darren, Issa, you can move your camera a little bit because you're a little off centered, and for some reason my OCD's kicking in, and you're going off camera a little bit.
Sorry.
Take your shirt off.
Better?
Yeah, he's.
It's episode 69.
No, you're
Getting hot in here.
Ooh,
Am I
steamy.
good? I think I'm good.
Yeah.
You're still far to the right, but it's a lot better than it was.
That's what they keep telling me.
Yeah.
You're still
Knew you were
far to
gonna
the
say
right?
that.
That was good.
Knew you were gonna say it.
Did you?
So,
So
introductions out of the way, right?
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's cut them off because we're gonna get a hell of a lot of every sort of introduction from him when we actually get talking the topics. Because I feel like we'll get a good picture of his background.
Well, yeah. Let's get to know
Should I
our
not?
man real quick a little bit. Wait, first of all, how do you two know each other? Because I met him through a post where I remember, Alex, when we thought it would be funny if I added all your friends and we just went on threads and started talking about. Like,
Yeah, I'm still. You do realize I'm still dealing with like aftershocks from that shit, right? Like I'm still getting the messages. Who is this person? Why did he? What, should I add him? And I say it's actually one of those spam porn accounts. They're just trying to get you to sign up for the free live webcams that aren't free.
That's what I originally thought it was. I thought he was like a spam bot from Russia or India or some shit, like "Show me Bob" or something. But no.
Close enough. So he and I met actually in the Republic of Kekistan. I don't think either of us are ethnic Kekis. I think we're both. I know I'm an Ankapistani refugee.
I was
fleeing
exiled
from the Pure Anarchy page. Yeah, I was. The Pure Anarchy page is usually my home, but it went far red and black, and I started seeing red. And
I've got an issue with that, and I want to bookmark that because I want to talk about something. But go ahead, continue.
so I got a little tired of dealing with commies. I migrated to the Republic of Kekistan, but I kept seeing this really based Muslim, and I'm like, okay, who is this guy? I gotta add him because I've always been a little bit nicer to Muslims than your typical conservative. I've known my fair share of Kurds. I've known, I don't have this intense hatred. Oh, I hear the word Muslim, and oh no, I'm seeing la 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 and sheep. I'm not. I don't see that. For me, I knew a lot of Muslims growing up. My mom spent a lot of time in Saudi Arabia when she was a kid, so she was baptized in the Red Sea, actually.
pretty base.
So I've always been someone who's enjoyed shawarma. So you got to get along with the Muzzies if you like shawarma.
You do.
Shawarma. Or like if you like baba ganoush or halaweta jibun, katayef, any of that stuff. I like food. Sorry. So I saw a Muslim, and I'd already I was already getting kind of sick of Kekistan at that point. It was what it started off as. It was kind of a joke, but it was a statement, and it became an unironic joke. And there's nothing worse than a joke that doesn't know it's a joke and it's not doing it ironically. It's gotten pathetic for me, which is why I've kind of fled, and why I kind of applaud. I applaud ISIS Halaway Al-Shibban and his quest to create these outposts, because I feel like a little bit more organization would be nice. And I know, the foundation of it is chaos, but it's controlled chaos, and it's lost its control. It's become it has become racist. It's become all the things that they're like that created it. It was I think what really kicked off Kekistan was Hillary Clinton's deplorables statement. That they're the basket of deplorables, and a bunch of people got really pissed because they're like, well, I'm not a racist. I'm not a bad person. I just think that you can be young, tech savvy, and also conservative. And that's where it kicked off. And not even the traditional, Christian conservative types either. Just people with simple values and an understanding of economics. That's at least what I feel started Kekistan. But then it got infiltrated by a bunch of actual Nazis, your KKK, and your actual bigots. And it went from ironic bigotry to serious bigotry. The joke was gone.
Yeah,
I mean, look at the flag. Look at the flag behind Darius, Senior. Isa Allah Darius Al-Shibban.
Yes.
It's clearly a Nazi flag. It's a Third Reich flag. But it's a joke.
Nazi battle.
You've got the clovers. You've got the clovers in the corner where I think it was the swastika was, and the clovers are 4chan.
They were both the kek was the Iron Cross, and the clovers was the swastika. Yeah. But it's bait. It's bait.
It's just an ironic joke.
Yeah, it's so that people can call it out and be like, "Oh, it's a Nazi," and they don't realize how stupid they're looking, and that's the best part. The reason I came to Kekistan.
Yeah, but the problem now is that everybody who is associated with these memes and these alt-right is actually they're actually being called Nazis now, and they're making this illusion that's
because the alt-right is Nazis now.
Let me finish. It's actually they're getting more attention than they should be getting, and the people that are liking these memes might be actually starting to be brainwashed into these type of white supremacist ideas when they see people like Antifa, and then they see the memes, and then they go, "Oh yeah, I like that." And then after you see enough of these memes, and you kind of, I think Antifa is chasing people to the alt-right, and also the memes are
I would really
people gravitate towards it.
I would really like to talk about something related to that when it comes to Nazis and Antifa. The reason why I joined Kekistan is because there's so much in Chicago. It's very liberal. It's like a democratic gem. It's like a blue gem, and it's always blue. Always it has been.
Which is why it's so poor.
Yeah. Well, it's one of the economic engines of the Midwest. But I digress. It is really hard to be a straight white male who isn't rich or well off or connected in Chicago right now, because you're either a racist or a bigot or somehow an Islamophobe or some stupid shit like that. So I went to a party at University of Illinois, and some girl, some biological female, was standing in the way of the bathroom, and I said, "Excuse me, miss," because I was, that's before I was a Muslim. I was plastered drunk, and she went off on me, and I just realized that there's something seriously wrong with it. That's when it was like a wake-up call for me. There's something seriously wrong with these kids. You know what I mean? And so that's why I came to
Kekistan. So is this someone that didn't identify as a female?
Yeah, somebody who was mentally ill, and she went off on me. And
okay.
It got really awkward. Now, this is how I came into Kekistan, but I want to get to the whole Antifa, and there's an irony. There's such a deep irony in there that people don't understand the history of these two groups. But at that incident with the lady at the party, I was plastered drunk. I'm like 6'2", and I had a big old lumberjack beard, right? Wearing like I look like everybody's dad. You know what I mean? And so me and my friend, she's going off on me for like maybe a minute, and I looked at her and I was like, you know, my friend's standing across the room and we're the tallest guys, so I look and I made eye contact with him. I'm like, look, you being a woman is the only thing stopping me from punching your ignorant ass in the fucking face. So I think that you should just play the woman part and get out of my way because I have to piss. You know what I mean? Like when somebody's got to pee and they're fucking plastered drunk, they're not sitting there trying to discuss your fucking gender or whatever. So if people can put these made up genders, made up whatever, they're oppressed, all that bullshit on a legal document, then I'm going to make up a race and I'm going to put that shit on a document. You know what I mean? When the census comes around and Sargon of Akkad taught me that shit. Sargon brought me.
It was like me years ago with Pastafarianism. Yeah. I became a Pastafarian because people could put this religion on a little card and get all these privileges. Oh, I want to wear a pasta strainer in my driver's license photograph, and I do. And if they say,
"Did you?"
Oh well, what? Oh, dude, my ID photo out here is so fucking hilarious. I didn't need to wear a strainer. I made the dumbest face. I look like
an abusive dad. I'm gonna get my
drunk. I crossed my eyes and I put a dopey face on.
I look like a drunk abusive dad.
You know it. God, you do.
Yeah. Sorry.
So with the roots, okay. So you were getting into it, and I bird walked really far there. With Antifa and Kekistan, I think that there's been a lot. I keep getting into it with Sean about this, but I think that Kekistan would not exist if not for Antifa making its resurgence in America.
Right.
And it started on the not the inauguration, but the election night when trash cans were being torched and Starbucks were being broken.
It really started in
Starbucks is a bastion for the left. Well,
that was
I think what happened. What happened was a bunch of rather normal people were pissed off. They're like, really? You're going to burn trash cans because your candidate didn't win. You're going to cry and scream like a child.
And when the whole time Hillary was saying, oh, we're going to accept the outcome of the election either way.
Yeah. Do you promise to accept the outcome of the election, Mr. Trump? You know, she asked that, but then it was her own supporters that didn't. And a lot of people that were relatively normal people on the right ended up switching and trolling.
Back to the topic. I think what's going on, I think here's the problem with partially with Kekistan and these memes that are supposed to be a joke that are offensive, is that it's dividing people more. It used to be funny and cute, but now you see that this country is being split in two factions. Whether you're a Democrat, Antifa get rolled into there, and Black Lives Matter, and then on the other side you have the alt-right with the conservatives and the alt-right and the Kekistan. I think that the biggest problem right now is that we're being divided. It's like an earthquake has happened in the middle of our social construct, and it's only getting worse.
Well, I think, for one, Shia LaBeouf would differ.
I think that he would probably differ quite a bit. But there's a deep underlying irony here. Sorry.
It's an Ouroboros. It is an Ouroboros. It's a self-eating snake. The more the left does it, the more the right will do it, and it'll just keep going.
I think it's a problem of people not knowing their history, really, because the reason that the Nazis were able to rise to power so effectively, it was partially a reactionary there was a reactionary factor in there. The Reds were fighting the brown shirts. Antifa, literally Antifa, same flag, same name, same backing, same moral guidance, same political agenda, were fighting and resisting the National Socialist Party in Germany. And that's what caused so many rational people and so many regular working Germans to join the Nazis. They were like, fuck these communists. They're like, fuck these violent bastards. We're not fucking fighting with them, for them, anything like that. So what had happened is that it came down to blows in the streets of Germany, just like it's coming down to blows in the streets of America today. People weren't fucking having it, so they went extremely to the other side.
But
so,
I don't think it's equal. There's not a Nazi party in America.
There isn't.
I think that they're blowing this whole Nazi thing out of proportion. There was one guy with a fucking swastika flag, and now all of a sudden everybody there is considered a Nazi. And the Nazis.
What it is simple. And there's the equivalent of a Nazi party. Just they haven't done all the evil shit yet.
I don't even know. I know National Socialists. I know white supremacists. I have family who's in Aryan Brotherhood. Well, they're not technically family, but they're like cousins. And you know what?
The Aryan Brotherhood does not want to be considered Nazis. Two different.
They're not. Okay, but they're not. But what I'm saying is that these people aren't saying throw black and Hispanic people into fucking gas chambers. They're not saying that. They're saying I don't want to breed with a black woman. That's what they're saying. Some of the extreme ones are saying, yeah, we need to do something about getting them out, whatever. And you know what? If the left is going to say tear down monuments of slavery, well, fucking black people in America are fucking a symbol of slavery. Let's remove them then. What the fuck? Maybe that's a little extreme. Maybe that's a little extreme. But I know a lot of these people that they're trying to demonize. And you know what? I have black cousins and black family. They're invited over to the house for barbecues. They were never rude. But yeah, are they good people? No, fuck them. Fuck socialism by all means. And when you put racial purity into it, fuck that too. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, like, they're demonizing people who aren't really necessarily a threat to them because, one, National Socialists will never be elected.
They're turning them into a threat.
Yeah, they sure as fuck are. They sure as hell radicalized me with this bullshit. I'm about to go buy a carbon 15. This shit's getting ridiculous. Sorry, let me calm it down. Let me take a sip of my Icelandic glacier bottled water, which you can get at Ross for $2.19. It is delicious and refreshing.
At Ross? Is that a clothing store?
Yeah.
It's a discount store. Think like Big Lots, but mostly clothes.
Yep.
It's my favorite store. It is my favorite store. It's the best shit ever.
I got this shirt there for $12.
We don't have it out here. We don't have it in California.
Suckers.
These don't like discount goods.
Nope.
So let's go back to you, Travis. You live in Chicago, you said?
Well, I lived in the South Side my whole life. I grew up like around 84th and Pulaski, which is like so side. But then I moved to what they call the Lower West End, to a neighborhood called McKinley Park. It's like 35th and Ashland. It's literally, we call it the Alamo because it's literally like the last nice family-oriented neighborhood going south. You go past that, you start getting into Brighton Park, Inglewood. Those are the neighborhoods after that. It's a fucking war zone.
Chi-town.
So yeah, so you get to hear about all of these murders. What is the driving cause behind this murder? Is it drug territory, gang violence, or
it's fucking no? You know what it is? It's animalistic behavior. It's just straight up animalistic behavior. It's they're bred. They're in a culture that. They're in a culture that says that unless you act like an animal, you're just a total pussy. You have no social worth. You know what I mean? I seen a video you posted. It was something about like this kid who was like, oh yeah, free my boy, blah blah blah. It's a bunch of ignorant assholes, is what it is. That's what it really is. They want to blame everybody else for their problems and for the plight of their own communities, but then they turn their guns on each other and they sell poison to each other and they totally fuck up the property value of their neighborhood and then they sit around and blame it on everybody else. You want to know the real problem? You want to know the real cause of that shit? Democrats. That's the fucking real problem of that. It's fucking Democrats. Sorry.
So let's go back and I want to go back into these topics, but I want to know where the converting to Muslim came from.
Where the what?
You weren't born into a Muslim family.
No. I was born into a Catholic. That's funny. A lot of people watching this don't even know about my religious identity. I was born into Catholics, but we really weren't too practicing. And then when I got into my early adulthood, I really started. Got really deep into like understanding the Bible. I watched this thing called Spirit Science, and I was like, well, it was intriguing, bullshit, but it was intriguing. It got me into this thing called sacred geometry, wherever it's just these cool like patterns and stuff. He knows the stuff. I knew he knew it. But that
sacred
really
geometry.
Yeah, boy.
Did you also do spirit stone healing with the minerals?
No.
With the resonant frequencies of the quartz and
That's
Oh
legit.
no, I was into like
That's legitimately legit.
I was into like Kundalini yoga and stuff like that. I liked like meditation and chanting and whatnot. But so I ended up studying the Bible. I had like maybe 10 different copies of it. I would spend like maybe like days at my kitchen table just fasting and reading different, just comparing it and trying to understand the original texts and the original language, understanding the etymology of it, looking at different references, talking to priests and debating with priests. And I really started to get to, when I really started to get down to it, I started to feel that it was a counterfeit. It was like a watered down counterfeit. And then when I started to look into the, when I started to get into the etymology of the actual tongues that it was written in, I started to realize that like it was kind of off base too. Then I picked up the Quran and I started reading it, and it just kind of blew me away because everything in there was so relevant. Like, and they said unto the people of the earth, do not cause corruption. And they said, but we are not corrupt. We are just reformers. I was like, well, that sure as fuck sounds like BLM and Antifa to me. And then it says, the 2, 6, and 8, 2, 6 through 8, it says, it doesn't matter if you warn them or do not warn them, they will not believe. That sure as fuck sounds like the leftist to me, you know? So I just started to see these things in there that really blew me away. And then I found out that in the Torah, I started talking to this dude, he's a Jewish dude. In the Torah, there's a prophecy of the last prophet, and it says that it's written in Aramaic, which is ancient Hebrew, I think. It says, it describes the seal of the prophets, the last prophet. It describes him as altogether lovely. But when you say that in Aramaic, it's Muhammadim. You could ask any rabbi to say that phrase. I believe it's in the Songs of Solomon in the Bible, but it's in the Torah, the Jewish script. And if you ask any rabbi to say that, I don't know exactly what line it is. If you ask any rabbi to say it, he's going to say the seal of the prophets is Muhammad. So I started to like really kind of blew me away. Once I like picked up the Quran, I looked at it, it answered. It was like a resolve. You know what I'm saying? It's like a resolve. Like, so.
Since you're on the in, how could some of these things be perceived as Sharia law?
Okay, so the thing about Sharia law is that Sharia law is man-made. Is when man interprets the Bible, or when man interprets the Quran and makes a law based off of how he interprets it. So a lot of these people are going to say Muhammad is the perfect human. Muhammad is this, he's that. Okay, well, I get a lot of flack for this, but I'm not about to go marry a 9-year-old. You feel me? It's going to take a hell of a lot for me to pick up a blade against somebody. So I differ from him quite greatly, but I do find a lot of universal truths and very valuable.
The Quran does say to do some of these radical things.
Right.
Now,
but it also,
let me interject for a moment. I recall reading somewhere in the Quran that Muslims are not to change the laws of the lands they're in, but rather to obey the laws that are set before them.
And it also says that you're not supposed to. It also tells you not to regress culturally, and that you're supposed to accept the laws of the land you're in. So you're talking about like the end times. The end times, in my understanding, are from when Muhammad died to when Jesus comes back. That's the end times. We're in it right now. We've been in it for 1,500 years. There's the end times. This is the technology. When you had bronze, it was the Bronze Age. When that was the new technology, when you had copper, there was a Copper Age. Stone, it was a Stone Age. Now, by the time you finish learning something in med school and you start implementing it, it's already outdated. So we no longer have an age. We are ageless. It is the end of times, the end of ages. We are in a new type of new things going on. So you can't say that you stone people to death or you whip people in the street. And maybe back then when you had to worry about it's like the Spartans. Are we going to say that are we going to say that Spartan culture was inferior or wrong? No, you can't assign a moral standard to history because they had to worry about Persians invading their shit. Yeah, they had to throw the inferior babies off a fucking cliff. You know, I think it's just about. I think it's about the history.
So there's some silly stuff in the Bible too.
I'm sorry.
there's some silly stuff in the Bible too.
Yeah, for sure.
But it was written a long time ago, and I guess it could be.
I think anyone that's read it would not be able to. I think everyone I've heard that's disagreed with me when I said there's some silly stuff in the Bible hasn't read it. I've heard a lot of people talk about it that have never read it through cover to cover.
Right.
But
Well,
I
even if
think
you
what killed religion for me was reading the Bible cover to cover.
Right, and you can't, when you want to read a book and you really want to understand a book, like say the Bible or the Quran or the Torah or any book, you can't just go through cover to cover. You have to pop out a dictionary, pop out some biblical encyclopedias, have a laptop.
I always
Right.
I always used study Bibles. I always sat down, compared NIV versus KJV versus Anchor, which the Anchor Bible is really interesting in that it's a retranslation from the original script as opposed to the King James translation, which you'll notice a lot of inconsistencies in the Anchor version, but it still has inconsistency. It's because if you go back and read the Torah and then go through the Old Testament, you notice things aren't the same, and you begin to question, but these are the same books. Why are these words different? Why are these meanings different? And then you have to keep in mind how they've been translated. And I think one of my favorite is 1 Timothy 2:12. I beseech not a woman to attempt to teach or usurp authority over a man, but instead to remain quiet in his presence.
Right.
And in the presence of the Lord. Reading that, you can definitely see there's a little bit of the times in there. Women weren't exactly valued for much more than rearing children, which you really can't say society's progressed much past that, but you can definitely see that it was written in a certain time, and that there were inconsistencies in translations, because if you read different translations of 1 Timothy 2:12 in different Bibles, it always says something different.
I mean, I started picking up. I own more books than I own anything, honestly. I started picking up any single copy of the Bible I could find. That didn't matter what language it was in. Any copy of, I preferred English, obviously, because that's what language I speak. But any copy of the Bible I would find. I was finding versions that I never knew existed. The Douay version. What the hell is a Douay version? You know, but
you ever pick up a Schofield?
I have not come across that actually.
A Schofield Study Bible is amazing when it comes to the breakdown.
You read the Torah and you like it. What's the next move? You go to a mosque and say, hey, guys.
No, I picked up my friend lent me a copy of the recitation in Quran. I just got dove into it like I dove into the Bible. And so the further I kept diving in, the more stuff I started realizing that just adhered to my personal beliefs, like trade in gold. Capitalism is king. Well, not really king, but like free market is the way to go. And watch out for treacherous people. Hypocrites are everywhere, even in high office. It just really adhered. It really resonated with me because it sort of reflected a lot of what I truly believe in. And another thing too is that I got into studying because I had such a deep hatred for the things that I saw people doing, throwing gays off of a building, oppressing women. I was like, yo, that's kind of really fucked up. I need to know what this is about because, as you guys probably know, I'm pretty loudmouth and opinionated, but I don't like to jump into things without knowing what I'm talking about. So I really had to get an understanding for what these people believe. And the more I started to get into it, the more I realized those type of people who say they're representing a religion, not only are they called out in that book, they're full of shit. They're called out. We call them dogs of hell. Because they commit some of the worst atrocities known to man in the name of religion. That's pretty fucked. That's super fucked. And in the Quran and in the Hadiths, we say that these people like ISIS and Daesh, they're going to come and they're going to rise up with black flags in the land of Canaan, and they're going to exist until the end of time. These people are treacherous agents who are fighting not on behalf of any religion or any country. They're fighting on behalf of riches. That's what they're there for. They're not there. They're probably not even really there to establish a caliphate. They're there because somebody inspired these idiots to go do that, and they put a lot of money into it, and it behooves them it behooves the people who organize this shit to trick people into going and doing that because they benefit.
It's very dangerous stuff, right?
Super dangerous shit.
Well, now that we got to know you a little bit, we can go back kind of what we were talking about, which is us being divided. And I think the main tool that is creating this division would be the media, especially the mainstream media. We have our alternative sources, which I think we need to rely more on those than what you see on MSNBC, CNN, or even, God forbid, fucking Saturday Night Live is giving you the information. I mean, people that are relying on Saturday Night Live for their news information, just stop.
Yeah.
Fox News is not.
What did Moses say? What did Moses say for the people who worship the golden calf? It's better you kill yourselves than continue unjustly, or something like that. You probably know. What's that, Ginger? What was the phrase in there? You probably know that one. People are worshiping these golden calves of the media, and they're taking their word as God. And honestly, the world will be better off without them, because once people are buying into these biases that are so readily available and reinforced. It's really hard for people to look into the mirror and realize that they've been fed bullshit and they ate it up and shit it out before they realized what was going on. So it's kind of hard, even when they'd rather go into cognitive dissonance than to accept the fact that they're suckling off the tit of a fucking just this huge.
Well, you can't be calling for people to commit suicide.
No, that was facetious. I was being facetious. I was being facetious. Let me clear that. I was joking.
Okay.
Sorry.
So people don't know who you are, so it's gonna come off as a little.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to be a crime here soon too.
No, that was a joke. I was quoting Moses. I wasn't saying.
If the recent. Yeah, you seem to have backed yourself in a corner. By the way, I'm not a ginger.
Oh, sorry.
It's red beard. It's just red beard.
I got some red in there too. So.
Does the window curtains match the doormat? Or
The drapes?
I don't know.
Do the curtains match? Does the carpet match the drapes?
I'm being facetious.
What I want to know is your armpit hair red?
I've got brown hair. Nope. Brown.
I've been suntanning.
Almost black.
Sick.
Anyways.
I got purple hair.
And a Rick and Morty hat on. But let's not get too carried away. You were saying the media sucks. Why?
So my take on the media is that people, they have an agenda. I don't want to sound too crazy here, but let's go back to what happened in the 1930s in Germany. It's money. It is money, and it's influence. People have an agenda, and I don't want to zog out right now. But there's these people who have this agenda that control major portions of media. I have a very specific agenda, and they don't really give a shit about preserving American.
Travis, do you know what we're doing?
You know what's up? Echo chamber. Let's add a couple of theys.
Yeah,
in there.
we're echoing. We're echoing.
It's Zionism. It's Zionist. It's fucking Zionist. They funded communism, and they fucking sure as fuck funded the Communist Party and influenced the Holocaust because they didn't want the Jews. They didn't want Jewish people to stay in Israel either, and it behooved them to team up with the Nazis to influence what happened in 1930s Germany and 1940s Germany. They wanted them to go to Israel. Nobody wanted to leave Europe. It's too fucking comfortable. Nobody wanted to leave America. But you know what? When you make a burnt offering of 6 million people, then yeah, people want to start fucking establishing a homeland. Sorry, I have to say it. And so I think what's happening is that these people who own major portions of this media, they have a very specific agenda. Look at CNN. CNN is owned by Time Warner. Time Warner is Hillary Clinton's 7th largest supporter. So if you're saying that there's no specific they were the 7th largest donor for Hillary Clinton and for Clinton in like 2016. So if you think that there's no agenda there, I don't know what to say to you. Quran 2:6-8. Doesn't matter if you warn them or don't, they weren't not going to believe you.
Yeah, and I think it's funny that there's 7 major media news outlets, and like they control 90% of the media that we see. Other than Now, I mean, that used to be the case, but now the internet and all these other alternative sources of information have been springing up. You know, your Alex Joneses, your people like him.
Your Mercury's casts.
Your Mercury's casting.
Alex Jones is the funniest shit, dude. I love that guy just because I think like, oh, I love him. I mean,
Did you see in Seattle someone threw fucking coffee on him?
Yeah, they were calling him a goblin. I was like, guys, you can't just walk around calling Jews goblins. That's not cool, man. That's a hit.
I'm not your goy, all right? I'm not your goy.
Yeah, right? Not your goy, right?
But no, I don't think that was I think that was real. There's a part of me that thought it was fake at first because you never know with Alex Jones, but
no, is it an act like he says in court, or?
Well, that's fun different.
It doesn't take too much for me to believe somebody's going to act like that. I've encountered a lot stupider people than that. So I mean, he fits he fits a type for me.
I think that's where I put a cap on Kekistan. Though, is Kekistan has become unironic as Alex Jones. He may try and say in court that it's an act, but I don't think he's doing it ironically, and I don't think it's an act. I think he thinks they're gaying up the frogs with the chemicals in the water.
Right. Sometimes he gets it right.
No, I think the thing is
they put chemicals in your water clearly, but
yeah, that's why my teeth don't rot. That's why they do it.
Yeah, that fluoride. You got that fluoride stare.
Can't get enough of it. I don't know what you're talking about. I drink all natural Icelandic spring water from. I don't want to do too much product endorsement, but I drink spring water. I don't drink that shit from the tap. So no fluoride.
I drink all American tap.
No, yeah, I drink tap too. I'm fucking around. It's a joke, but I drink tap too. People are freaking out.
Depends on what city you live in. If you live in what's that city? The one that had the brown water coming out of their tap.
Oh, Flint, Michigan.
Yeah,
Flint, Michigan.
Yeah, I like how everybody forgot about Flint. Like,
well, it's because Obama gave. I hate name dropping, but Obama gave them millions of dollars, and now the audience is free to correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm fairly certain Michigan is blue.
Yeah, a little bit.
At least Flint is.
I think so.
I know Detroit is blue, but I think Flint is also blue, and that would lead me to believe that all that Obama money went towards rainbow crosswalks and sensitivity training.
Fancy shit. Shiny stuff.
For people who identify as lead pipes.
I'm gonna start identifying as a lead pipe.
They can't remove the lead-lined pipes because some people identify as lead-lined pipes, and that might upset them and their sensitive lead-lined sensibilities.
Hey, is it cool if I stay on and we keep going as I take a leak? There won't be any nudity, but the audio might.
Just go take a leak and come back to me now. We'll have no problem holding it down.
All right, hold it down. Hold it down. Feel free to talk about me while I'm gone. You guys can stare at my.
Sleep, my little no. And there went our copyright strike.
What's the irony of taking these statues down? You know, the statues themselves never owned slaves.
Well,
I really want to touch on that when I get back. That's a great ass topic. I'll be right back.
All right, no. All right.
I think for me, the irony is that they want to tear down General Lee statues. I think, given his history, that's hilarious.
So let me guess, because what I've heard and what I haven't been able to find on Google, fucking surprise, is that before the Civil War, Robert Lee actually did a really good job as a general during the Mexican War and did some good stuff. And then even after the Civil War, didn't really come out and say that he agreed with slavery and actually helped some freed slaves after the war. Am I wrong or no?
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
No, you're correct. He was outspoken against slavery, but his duties lie with what he felt was his nation, and he felt that his nation was one that didn't believe in overburdening tax rates on farms in the South. That a lot of people think that the Civil War was about slavery. Slavery was a small sliver of it.
I'm back.
A lot of it had more to do. A lot of the Civil War had to do with economic impact. The South was doing relatively well.
You're not allowed to. You're not allowed to say that.
The South
That's
was doing. The South was doing relatively well because they had a lot of agriculture. They were using slaves, but soon, technological advances would make slavery too costly anyways. It's a lot easier to maintain it, farm equipment than it is to maintain living, breathing, thinking farm equipment that wants to escape.
Right.
So inevitably, slavery would have been ended. And I believe it was Abraham Lincoln that was quoted as saying, if I could keep slavery and maintain the Union, I would.
Yeah.
So it's not like the North was
because they almost destroyed
on a holy crusade. What it was is it was the economic impact. The North wanted more taxes. The North wanted more control because cities like New York were, in extreme poverty. Whereas down south in your southern states, you had farms and people weren't exactly starving and things were, a little bit better. So the South got pissy. They're like, nah, we don't want taxation, homie.
From what I understand, it was a little different that the North had factories and stuff like that, so that they were making more wealth and it was more poverty. But
the general populace in the North was far poorer.
Maybe that was a sheer numbers thing because the majority of the immigrants that came, like my ancestors came here in 1854, something like that, from Ireland, and they, where do you think they showed up first? New York. You know what I mean? Then they came to Chicago, but I think maybe that could have been a numbers thing, sheerly. But sorry, please continue.
Well, you could say, let's say I own Google, and I move the headquarters of Google to Flint, Michigan. 20 people there. Now Flint, Michigan has become one of the wealthiest cities in the United States.
Oh, right, because of the capital there.
Does that make Flint, Michigan not a shithole? No.
Right. It's the water shithole though.
You can have money in a shithole and it still be a shithole. Just look at Detroit.
Yeah. Well, I think that that's
once the manufacturing moved out of Detroit, that's when everything kind of fell apart, right?
Oh, there's still money in Detroit though.
I want to get
if you don't think your Rockefeller types aren't still in Detroit, they're still in Detroit.
I want to get in there and gentrify and buy up some of them $2 properties.
Yeah, but then you'll be demonized for buying up the $2 properties and putting windows in.
Do you guys think that being demonized has ever stopped me before?
All right, so back.
Well,
back
there
to
was
the,
that one
back to the
time at
situation
band
at
camp
hand.
with the flute.
Back to the situation at hand. We do have limited time here. So back to taking down these statues, and I think just a lot of these people, they see the statue and they just cry racism, and now you have groups of people going around vandalizing all these places of history.
I'm oddly left-leaning on this one. I'm okay with the statues coming down, but I'm with Sean on this one. Sean Daly, another one of our guests. Love to have him on this episode if we could have. They should be put in museums.
Yeah.
I don't think that they should be taken down and discarded. I think they should be taken down and put in museums.
I had the same conversation with him in a DM. If they want to remove them, then have the place vote on it, the county, the city, whatever, the state, and then let's vote on it. And then if the people decide that they want to have it removed, then they put them in museums. Don't destroy a piece of art just because one small group
a piece of history, a very important piece of history.
Right. Just because one small group of people that's very vocal wants to remove something doesn't mean that it's the general consensus on
Hitler's statues still exist. So do Stalin's statues.
Yeah. I would like.
They still exist.
They're in museums.
Here's my thing. Here's what I wonder.
Yeah.
One, where the hell were these people for the past 8 years?
Where
the hell were they for the past 8 years? All of a sudden, they have to have some sort of crusade to go on just to demonize, make Trump look like shit. I didn't vote for him.
Nope. Nope.
Said it.
You gotta cut it. Cut
It's gotta be. It's a resistance thing.
We're not saying that. We're not saying that word.
All right, you know I gotta put it.
Just
I gotta put my
start over
other
and say
hat
the
on.
president.
Wait.
I gotta
Start
put
over
my
and
other
say the
hat on.
president.
We're cutting that. We're cutting that from the episode too.
All right, I will. Start over and say the president.
So take it from the top without saying it. You're allowed to wear the hat. I don't care.
Okay, I'm a man of many hats. So so the thing is that, I don't think what people understand is that the Confederates were Democrats. That the party line shifted after.
Well, there was the whole party switch.
Yeah, do you know why that party
the
switch
left
happened?
became the right.
Okay, so that happened because after the civil rights era, they figured it, and I quote, this is a quote, so don't hate speech fucking bomb me on this. If these niggers are gonna vote, they might as well vote Democrat. And then what did Lyndon B. Johnson say? What did Lyndon B. Johnson say? I'll have these niggers voting Democrat for 200 years. And what did they do? They kept the chains on these people. They chained them down with welfare.
I wholeheartely agree. But I think your only
Yeah.
pass on saying the word is because you're one of the Muslims, and if I say anything otherwise, I'm an Islamophobe.
There you go. So,
You know
so
what?
the thing is that
I think they need to free my nigga speech.
they chain these people down with removing their ability to select their educational institutions. They're in public school. That's it. They put crazy restrictions on business for all the major cities are run by Democrats. So you know damn well these things are getting passed. They regulated business so much that the average working man cannot get into most markets. You can't. I tried to open up a hot dog cart in Chicago. You wouldn't believe how difficult it's become since Rahm Emanuel has become mayor.
Oh, dude, you've got to go through a pile. I've seen that pile of paperwork. I wanted to open up a food truck.
Bullshit.
That
not even
paperwork
a food truck.
is
Not even a food truck.
ridiculous.
A little wagon.
Just a hot dog cart, yeah.
Yeah. And so what happens is,
and they've got a limit. They've got a limit to how many hot dog carts there can be too.
yeah, bullshit. So they kind of screw these people over. So they have this slave voting population that they're too uneducated to really. And if they're too uneducated to really look beyond what's happening, and if they question the status quo, then all of a sudden they're demonized by their own society, their own.
You don't want us to have government phones,
right?
Are you trying to take away our Section 8 housing?
Right. Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
You don't like poor people. You hate poor people.
Wait a minute. I am poor. I grew up on the link. I live with a single mother, five kids in a 2-bedroom apartment. You know what I'm saying?
In my childhood, we were homeless, but I still have a negative view of a lot of entitlement programs.
I had a wood burning stove when I was 12 years old. We had a wood burning stove. My mom was in a homeless shelter, and I lived with my dad, and he got sick.
Pellets?
No, we used to take untreated pallets that weren't treated, clean, straight wood pallets, chop them bitches up and burn them, and that's how it would be 80 degrees in the middle of February. But I'm getting off on a tangent here. They don't realize now that the leftists are paying these kids. I saw an ad, $1,500 a week to go be an activist. I did campaigns for Democrats, and they tried to get me to go to the Trump rallies, and they were going to pay me.
I've also seen those ads, and I've also seen some of those ads being debunked. But I'm
telling you for a fact that somebody tried to pay me from a campaign office that I was working in. I'm not going to drop any names on who, but they tried to pay me to go to the Trump rally at UIC. When they shut that thing down because of the riot, they tried to pay me to go. So it's legit. These are some.
I believe it, and I, from firsthand accounts of what I've seen on the internet. There was
we saw that here in Berkeley,
in Charlottesville, and one of them had like the Nazi and the white people, and one of them had Antifa guys. So I really think, and I'm not sure of this, but I think a good part of me believes that they're trying to create a race war in this country. And we went over that big time last week with Kurt Haskell.
I want to be on the black side, to be honest.
Nope, because they don't want me on their side. Nope, I'm not going on that side. No, sir.
You got to go full anarcho-communist then.
But,
yeah, you got to go anarcho-communist.
Haven't you seen in Bruges? In Bruges, they've got the midgets. They got the Latinas.
Are you into midget Latinas?
I don't know that I want to be on the white side. The white side's just got the white people.
It's not the
and maybe
white
some
side.
Asians.
It's the American side versus all the Zog puppets. That's what it is, man.
Well,
I hate to say
I
it.
choose independent, and I'm gonna wave black and yellow and
There you go.
then
And
run
guess
off
what?
to like
And guess what?
Wyoming and live in a compound.
If you don't fit their collective ideology, they're coming after you. That's pretty much all it is.
Well, bullets are faster than words.
Yeah. And you know what's comes it goes bullets, Dodge Challengers, and then words, and then Zog Media.
Oh,
Sorry.
too soon.
Too soon? I'm sorry. You know what? My heart goes out to that. My heart.
Chicago. Let me ask you this, Darius. I just call you that because I have a good friend named Darius.
No, that's my dad's name. Ibn Darius means son of Darius.
Okay.
My bad. Please continue.
I said.
Yeah.
You live in Chicago.
I used to. I still do, kind of.
Suburbs.
Just outside of the Chicago.
Have you heard about all the murders and stuff like that?
I'm sorry?
There's a lot of murders in Chicago.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And you know what? If I wasn't so quick with my hands and on my feet, I could have easily became one of those many times.
So why is those people not important? And one woman getting mowed down by an alleged white supremacist. Why is she so much more important than all those people that die every single day in Chicago?
Because she feeds into the narrative. And you know what? I don't give a shit if that guy rots in prison or not, because he shouldn't have been driving his car down that street. He should have backed up as soon as he saw them all there. But I will say this. His car was attacked. So I don't feel sorry for her to go. You know, something stupid games, something stupid prizes.
Well, my friend Richard Haskell was saying that
Guilt by association. If you hang out with a stupid crowd, stupid things are going to happen to you.
I don't stand next to some of my high school friends because I don't want to get shot. You see the logic there?
Yeah. If all of my friends are jumping off bridges, I'm going to tell them, you're not very smart. I don't want to be your friend anymore.
Yeah.
Antifa's a dumb crowd to be hanging out with.
Let me tell you something about Antifa and BLM. I was debating, the only time I've ever been on 4chan and poll, I was debating some cummy fags. Excuse me. Sorry. You know what? I'm sorry. Edit that out. That's
no, that's because of the 4chan connotation. That's okay. You're
okay. So I was debating some of these guys. I know when I get into a debate, I usually either know my shit or I'm really quiet. So I was telling these kids, like, communism is not only, first of all, when you look at Marx, it's like listening to a fat kid give diet advice. He didn't know shit about ethics, morals, and he also didn't know shit about economics, because he's just, okay, anyway, listen to Stephen Molyneux on that. But anyway, I'm debating with these kids, and when I basically showed them, like, that their entire argument's full of shit, they posted my address, which happened to also be my mother and my entire family's address, online, and were threatening to burn my house down. So what the fuck is that? I told them, hey, you guys want to come through? Go right ahead. Come to the back door, basement back door. It'll be open for you, basically. You know, like, and then BLM, there's been many times when I've talked to these people and they become extremely violent with me. And they say shit like, we don't want to hear, you ain't got no right to talk about this. You know, nobody wants to listen to no stupid cracker. Nobody, you know, shit like that. So fuck them. It's collectivist. One, communism is stupid. The only reason why you're going to be a communist is because you're an idiot and you don't understand economics, or you're too much of a loser to compete in a free market and you think that you deserve handouts. And you're fucking
or you're a leech, and you
leech.
Can't make it on your own. So
exactly, you're a fucking loser.
You debated Black Lives Matter people live in person?
Yeah, dude. You think living on the south side of Chicago, you think that's not gonna like throw itself on your lap? Like, I had no choice. You can't.
He was a courier. He wore skin tight outfits.
I was a bike messenger. I biked the entire city, just about every street. But the thing is like, these people, you know, you can't avoid it. Either you're quiet and you don't say nothing, and when they demonize you and when they start pointing fingers and shit, or you feed into them and you say, okay, yeah, you're right, which is like the worst thing you could do, because then it's like it gives them credibility.
Well, the funniest thing is, I'm the first person to call out the Blue Lives Matter crowd. Being a cop is a profession. You chose it.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that I hope cops get shot, but I'm also saying it's not the same as being born a different skin color. I'm the first to point out that the All Lives Matter crowd is a little bit hypocritical, because when it does come to people of different races, they don't give a fuck. They only care when it's white people.
No.
But
I know
the Black Lives Matter crowd is the first to ignore that the number one killer of black people
It's black people.
is black people.
Like
and the number one killer of
white people is white people.
The number one minority killer of white people, the number one minority killer of white people is black people. They murder more of us than we murder of them, but they also murder more of themselves than we murder of them.
And I'm sick of hearing also
very
about like
few, actually.
Oh, what's that kid McDonald? Something McDonald, Laquan McDonald or some shit. He was in Chicago, a 60-something. I grew up where he got shot. When I was a kid, I used to live over there. 60-something in Pulaski. Let me tell you something. Look at me, right? I don't look anything like him, right? I'm not going to go walking around with a knife zipped up on fucking PCP or whatever the hell he was on, or even if he was dead ass sober. I'm not going to go walking around 60-something in Pulaski, 70-something in Pulaski, belligerent like that. Why? Because I don't want to get smoked. You know, I don't want to get fucking shot by a cop. I've had cops draw their guns on me. You know what you do? You comply, because it's better to sue them than to fucking die. I'm sick of hearing all these little monsters getting shot, getting exactly what they asked for.
But all I wanted to say was that you don't have to be pro all these other movements to be anti-BLM. As a group, I do not like BLM. I think Black Lives Matter, and I think anything that would harm my friends who are people of color, anything that would harm them purely for their skin color is ignorant, and collectivism often leads to that sort of shit. So I don't know why many of them,
because they don't know,
fall victim to that same collectivist bullshit.
Let's do this right now, and he's fucking bashing his desk on his computer desk.
I think that collectivism is essentially racism. It's more or less.
And well, it is racism, because even if you use the modern liberal definition of racism, you require an institutional form of power to be racist, so to speak. That's their definition. But even then, it's collectivism that well, I agree. I think racism is
can't just rewrite
judgment
words
based on race, but they like rewriting definitions to their favor, and even using their rewritten biased definition. Collectivism leads to that inevitably, because it institutionalizes form of power, and oftentimes those forms of power like to pick on the little guys, whoever it may be. So regardless, collectivism always leads to that. And I don't want anyone listening at home to think that this is an echo chamber of hard right ideology. I'm very, very socially progressive, but you don't need to be a hard right conservative to recognize the horrible things that come with collectivism. It's like your old art teacher used to say before before PC culture became the norm. Your old art teacher would always tell you, you need to be an individual. You need to be creative and unique. And now your art teachers are telling you, I remember I had an art teacher fail me because I didn't want to vote for Obama.
Yeah, I dropped out of public school at 16 because of shit like that.
And 17 here, but I had an art teacher fail me because she thought I was a racist bigot because I didn't like Obama. I didn't like his opponent either. I was an independent at a young age. I liked Ron Paul.
Yeah, buddy.
You know?
Yeah, boy.
So I was a huge Ron Paul guy back when I still had faith in the Libertarian Party. And
I think, man, if he would have got elected, that was our last chance.
Yeah.
He could have done great things for this country. Is back before the Libertarian Party got cocked.
Yeah, I'm starting to slowly drift away from them.
I'm still standing with the Libertarians.
I'm still with them. I'm
sticking in cap. Although I did just re-register Libertarian though. So.
Well, what the hell else are you gonna do? You can't.
I don't know that I'll keep voting, but I do like having the option there.
I was being pushed away from it. I actually had somebody who was very integral to the Chicago Libertarian Party tell me, you know what, Darren, maybe you belong in the GOP. I said, why the hell is that? Because I believe in I believe in the freedom of speech and equal representation under the law. Since when is that?
That's one of the core fundamentals of libertarianism.
This whole Charlottesville thing has everybody fucking, even people who were so woke, it just blew them away, and they readily bought into the narrative. They readily bought the whole setup. It was a fucking, yeah, it was a shitty thing. But you know what? Don't give people something to shoot at. I don't know, but I think that I was being pushed out of the. I actually contacted some Republican organizations, and I was talking to them. And for me, it's about minimal government. It's about individual rights. And I'm wondering, is the Libertarian Party really?
You've got two branches of it, really, but that's a private conversation we can have sometime.
Yeah.
Or another topic for another episode.
Or maybe another topic for another episode. We'll do the libertarian versus ANCAP ideology.
I hope I didn't come off too. I hope I didn't come off. I might have come off. Some people might see I was too like radical jihadi type, you know, like in this like this fucking mother. I hope I didn't give that impression.
We've said some shit on this program that don't even worry about it.
All right, cool.
Oh yeah, we've had far worse guests.
Okay.
Alex, do you have a tech segment for us?
Like my first episode. Huh?
Do you have a tech segment for us?
Well, I thought we were going to do the one you discussed, but I might have. Did you see that Hyperloop just got approved for, I think, DC to New York?
Hyperloop?
Elon Musk's super speed trains.
Yeah. They're going to build them from DC to New York?
Accelerate till the half. Yeah, I think so.
I'm still waiting
for the. I'm still waiting for the LA to Los Angeles one. That way I can get there in an hour.
Putin posed the idea.
That one's a big waste of money. California does not have money for this shit.
Yeah.
Well, no. He's considering doing it privately, or at least partially privately.
Well, then knock himself out because they're trying
I'm all for privatization of infrastructure.
Yeah.
But they're trying to put the gas tax to create the money for the
actually, if you look at least on our local ballot here for Sacramento area, well, for Napa, we're talking about repealing the gas tax here. It's on our ballot.
Good.
So
that'd be something.
Dude,
Sean Coco would be definitely interested in hearing that.
You have no idea, by the way, dude. We've got like 70 cents additional tax on top of the pre-existing taxes on our fuel here. So you go to the gas station and you're paying almost $4 a gallon here.
That's like Bush era prices in Chicago. Like that's like what it was back in.
But in the modern era, if you look at, we actually by state law, they actually have to show you how much, or local law here, they have to show you how much you're paying for each tax on the gas, so you can see what you're paying in local taxes per gallon, state taxes per gallon, and then federal taxes per gallon.
Yeah.
Morty, we don't have enough money for that, Morty.
Morty. We don't have enough money, Morty. I don't know, Rick. I don't know, Rick.
We gotta minimize the government, Morty.
We gotta minimize the government, Morty.
We gotta minimize it.
Oh, we gotta minimize it. I don't know, Rick. I think we need roads. What about my roads, Rick?
Don't be an idiot.
We don't need roads.
We don't have time for that road, Morty. Morty.
Where we're going, we don't need roads, Morty.
Hey, you guys want to see a little? Oh shit! Where'd it go? I was gonna do a little. I'll make a statement, but I can't. I was gonna make a statement.
So the Hyperloop train. Well, he gets us ready for the audio listeners.
Nah, looking into other tech. We still haven't done the Voco. If you want to do that, that could be interesting.
I did that with Kurt last week. I'm sorry.
Oh fuck! I should have watched the episode. Sorry, I've been in my own thing.
Your own cocoon. I would have watched your episode.
Yeah.
Oh well.
I feel like we focus too much on Elon Musk.
Yeah, that
so
guy's
just like the T word. Just like the T word, how about we avoid some Elon Musk for now? The eclipse was today at
What
10
T
o'clock.
word? You mean Trump?
Okay, yeah, let's do the eclipse. Who the fuck cares?
Gotta cut it. Gotta cut it. He said the word you need to cut it.
I don't get
Donald
it.
Trump is a racist, bigot, homophobe, Islamophobe.
What the hell is
We're not
this?
cutting it entirely, by the way. We're bleeping it. So every T word that's been said, we're bleeping. We're also putting a black bar over your face in post, bro.
Donald Trump has sex with kids.
Have you guys seen that meme I made where like when people say like really bigoted shit, I have like a meme where it's just like me looking at the computer like with the hat on.
No, I have
Anyways.
that I use for when someone just said something just so stupid. There's a meme where our president is pointing other side of the wall for you.
Yeah, wall.
The other side of the wall. And he's got that.
I have a meme where it's like when someone makes a joke and it's not very funny, I just take one of my screen caps of Travis's face.
Oh, rough.
Steal him a job. And all it does is just steal him a job.
Whoa.
Oh man, there was this thing. There was this post in Kekistan yesterday that was blowing up. It said, take a movie title and replace one word with asshole. And like 200 of the 500 comments were all mine. That shit was lit. Like Schindler's asshole.
Saving Private Asshole.
Yeah, I did that one too. Wet Hot American Asshole.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sisterhood of the Traveling Asshole.
Oh, that's so good. The meme thing was really fun for a while. I guess that could be the tech segment, but it's turned into something else. It's something different now. It's
meme warfare has become unironic, unfunny, and just mean, and I don't like it.
It has a place though. Like when CNN doxed that young kid, and it wasn't even the right kid. Yeah, I was involved in that raid, in those raids. We raided the shit out of them, and it had a serious effect. That got national attention. That's why Kekistan is so important to me. We need to preserve the mission of Lord Kek.
The original doctrine of our prophet Kek.
I denounce all of the Kekistanis who claim they're agents, who claim to be Kekistanis. They're actually Kekistanis, and they are not with us. Sorry.
Well, I'm gonna get a lot of hate, and I think Big Man, the Big Man himself is one of the leaders of the Kekistanis. Big Man Tyrone.
No, I think he's
Big Man Tyrone.
I think Big Man Tyrone's OG Kek. What are you talking about?
I don't. I think that
you sound like a normie right now.
No, I think he's become a normie.
I don't really know much about Big Man
all that
Tyrone.
T-shirt money. All he does is make that T-shirt money.
Hey, that's anarcho-capitalism, man.
Yeah, but the issue is, I don't think he cares about the cause.
Oh, he doesn't. He's just.
He elected him. He's a self-elected president, and Kekistan needs no president. We don't need leaders.
I actually ran for supreme leader. I got a lot of support on the page.
I was one of your supporters.
In the Kekistan.
I'm the commander of the Kekistani Operational Command, and I also am the command. I'm also the founding commander of every regional task force. So yeah, I'm trying to preserve the movement and make it into something more guarded, so that we don't lose it.
Can we make it something more wholesome in the progress, though?
Yeah, I mean, all the people that are in this and that are leading these are like people like me and you who actually see the social use, the use of it, and they have they're not like Nat socks and shit like that. That's the whole reason.
We need some more unifying messaging.
Well, what it is
the
Kekistan was never for the alt-right. They were for the alt-light.
It was for classical liberals.
But it turned into something else.
It was just those of us who joked. Those of us who enjoyed joking about both sides of the aisle and thought that the reactionary left was hilarious to make fun of. So we got branded as right-wingers, but none of us were actually part of the right wing. We were centrists. We were liberals. We were classical liberals.
And then people see that the way that
and by the way, if I ever bring you on, do not ever reference Stefan Molyneux.
Why?
Ever.
All right. Okay.
He's a terrible example.
I mean,
he's a terrible example. There's far better speakers.
When he talked about when he who shall not be named spoke about the hypocrisy of Karl Marx, he hit the head right on the nail. So for me, it's not about the source; it's about the information. If CNN does a really good article on something,
and he did a good job way back. If you remember when Trayvon was a thing.
Yeah,
his
he did.
breakdown of the Trayvon case was great.
Actually, that is what brought me in to become a fan of him.
We did a great
But his own
breakdown
cult
on,
following is weird. He has a real cult, and it's weird.
His voice is so soothing. I want to like hear him. Sorry.
No, you guys. I'm just kidding.
I feel like if he wasn't a huge statist, I'd have a lot more support for Shapiro.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I'm a bit of a statist too. You know.
I like Shapiro.
I'm not.
I don't believe in anarcho-capitalism because I grew up on Chicago's South Side. If they have bigger guns than you, guess what? You're gonna lose. You know, we need cops.
Which is why you need bigger guns.
Yeah, but we need cops. It doesn't always work like that. It doesn't matter if you're the biggest,
So
fastest,
hire private
strongest,
security.
smartest.
Look,
Sorry,
we're all
private security.
our personal experience. You can't say that one person should do another. You got the personal experience, Alex. You have a personal experience. You can draw the line at that.
True, that's true.
I've lived on mean streets too.
I just think that anarcho-capitalism only works if you have a set moral standard, set moral compass, and most people I know don't have.
If it depends on what branch of the ANCAP movement you follow. I follow the NAP.
Yeah, I do too. I signed the NAP agreement, or so, but not everybody.
The only part of it I don't agree with is self-harm.
Yeah, I don't have any vein. I have a brand on my hand, but you can't even see it anymore.
I said, do you have a direct line to like Base Stickman or somebody way up there?
Sorry?
Do you have a direct line to Base Stickman or somebody else like him?
No, I don't have any direct line. I love that guy.
Base Stickman does not. I don't think he directly represents Kyrgyzstan.
Mm-mm.
Really?
Nope.
Well, you guys are well more versed than I am.
The KOC though is the new frontier for the mission of Lord Keck. I highly encourage you to join the ranks if you wish to carry out the mission of Lord Keck and defend classical liberalism, Western values. We have regional task forces across the globe, stretching all the way from Sydney, Australia, to the east coast of the United States. It's a very organized movement, and we do not let normies in. And yes, traps are gay.
No normies.
If you mention traps, you're out. If you fucking mention traps, you're out.
That's taken care of.
Dishonorable discharge.
I don't give a shit about the discussion of traps, and I don't want to hear about it.
Neither do I. We have one guy.
Hard for me to write.
We have one guy that's just like flaming, and he's a cool dude. But sometimes I just have to not respond to him because he just says the most off the wall shit. I'm just like, dude, this is just the gayest shit I've ever heard in my entire life. But he's like the commander of the Texas Regional Task Force. So what can I do?
Well, yeah, it's Texas. They've only got two things from Texas.
Kool-Aid and Gatorade.
Yeah. H2O.
So Carl, we're at like over 1:15 already. I don't know what you want to do.
Yeah, I think we're. Do we have B-roll stuff? Do we have B-roll? Do we have? Well, you need stuff to do for the intro song, little sound bites.
Yeah, well, I think I got that in the beginning before we started. Maybe.
Do you guys want me to do the jihadi yell? Just throw that bitch in there.
All right, there we go.
There you go.
Well, this has been Mercury's Cast with your host, Travis Montgomery. I've been your co-host,
Alexander, fuck you.
Alexander, fuck you. And our guest, Isa Ibn Darius, otherwise known as Darian.
Wait.
Dorian.
Darian.
Dolores.
Thanks for the recognition. Shout out to my boy, comedian Edgar Emilio in Chicago.
Okay, so let's plan for maybe like a next week show.
Oh,
and we'll get some promotion behind it inside the land of Kyrgyzstan.
Oh, sick.
Even if not, they're going to call me a normie. They don't know me.
Dude, fuck the Republic. The Republic is dead. That shit's dead.
Yeah, the Republic is dead. And it was never a republic to begin with.
It wasn't.
They obviously don't understand government structures and what a republic is.
the show description. I'm gonna spend all night trying to figure out what the hell to call this damn thing.
Definitely nothing alt-right. Although we do need to get Darian on with. I want to try and get Darian on with Cold Glazer. No, Cold Glazer.
And for the people listening, I do have an alt-right guest in the queue. Who's all about?
I want to get you on with Cold Glazer because I think he just started with InfoWars.
Yeah, that would be a good one. We gotta schedule that one for sure. Although all you three of you would talk, and I would just sit back and cheerlead probably.
I just sip on your Colt 45.
Hey guys,
English,
I'm actually.
right? Oh,
English.
Oh, it is.
Oh, that
English.
is the worst beer. That is the shittiest beer.
It's not beer. It's malt liquor.
That's the worst beverage.
It ain't beer. It's malt liquor.
It's not.
Whatever.
It's not. You put it in the freezer for like 20, 30 minutes and then drink
Yeah,
it.
okay. Fair. I like Blue Moon. When I used to drink, I used to like Blue Moon and 312. Those are my favorites.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're not allowed to drink.
Nope, I don't. I don't drink.
That's cool. So this has been Mercury's Cast 69. We 69 each other every which way on the bedroom, on the kitchen floor, and
Not me. I don't do that.
Oh yeah, he doesn't do that anymore.
Don't do it with a duck. You'll end up with a doodle full of beak and a face full of feathers.
We verbally 69 our audience, and 69 different
Dinner for
ways.
two.
69 different locations. We're coming up on 70. Maybe we can bang out 100 by the end of the year. What do you think?
When we do 70, oh sorry.
I think
When you guys do 77, can you dress totally punk with like leather and fake mohawks?
Yeah, maybe not 100 by the end of the year.
Well, I know
Have to do the
we'll
numbers
begin to penetrate our 70th episode throughout the week. Yeah.
There's one scheduled for Thursday. Sorry.
Well, we'll see about inserting a little based humor into that one too, won't we?
Oh, are you off on Thursday or not?
Yeah, I'll be available.
Oh, it's going to be Black Lives Matter versus KKK. So, hey.
Oh, fuck.
We're going to have fun. We're going to have a couple of Black Lives Matter supporters.
Oh,
and it's going to be great.
I'm gonna have to moderate because I want no part in that.
Last time it didn't go so good, but you got drunk before you tried to have a conversation about race. You didn't do bad. You didn't do bad, but you weren't 100%. And for anyone that wants to go listen to that episode, it's called Race Relations, and it's there.
Oh man, snap.
Anyways, this has been Mercury's Cast, and
next time we'll make it Muslim free.
Oh,
oh,
just kidding.
Wrong. I do not condone
just
that.
kidding.
But my first amendment.
It's actually kosher. It's